Welcome to the stream. I want to introduce you my old friend and amazing artist, Vadim Epstein, who is also the author of the course AI and ML Methods in Creating Visuals, which we plan to run in 1 month, even less. And we prepared a stream today in order to show what will be in our course. Showcase some development, what we've done integrating different AI methods in TouchDesigner. And I provide the word to Vadim.
Yeah, hi everybody again. Thank you for coming, for joining us. This stream will be mostly about the upcoming course, but I hope not only. You may have some other questions relating somehow, or maybe even unrelated. Let's see. We would like to, in general, we would like you to join us in the general journey about integrating AI ML in our creative activities in whatever scale and whatever meaning. That is, we would prefer that that would involve you into joining our course, our online class. But anyway, this is not only the path possible. So yeah, let's see how what would be your opinion after this stream about this. Just a couple of words about myself. My name is Vadim Epstein. I've been making various kinds of high-tech visuals for, I don't know, 20-25 years. First, it was just VJing, then some generative graphics, interactive installations, whatever was meant by the term on the run. And like recent 5 years, I was making those visuals mostly, if not only, with AI/ML methods. And so I thought that sharing the way to get engaged with this topic, with this huge area, in fact, not just one topic, may be useful for others. The course is not the only thing which I am trying to publish. Like most of the tools which I use are available on GitHub as an open source stuff. So the course may be treated as kind of documentation for those tools, which are also available for everybody out of the box already. Let's get closer to the course program and to the course concept in general. Core audience, which I think would be for which this course would be useful, are not hardcore coders. They know already what to do. Neither people who are okay to use only ready-made tools available in vast amount all around various subscription services on Discord, on servers, whatever, like Midjourney on stuff. But with those services, you hard limited to the things which are defined by the by the authors and owners, the bosses of those instruments, and you can't really get a site to get them customized in a way which you may probably want to do, at least what I wanted to all the time. And also, it's I believe it's much better and much more interesting and produce way more interesting results to know what's inside those black boxes how exactly, maybe not exactly, but how in general they operate. Like when you know, even if you learn like dozens or even hundreds of parameters which tweak those generative engines, it's not always clear and obvious what does it mean, why it behaves like this, what are real limits and what are like artificial limits of these instruments, and how to change it, or if, for instance, you see some instrument doing something, but you want something different. So how to create that something different? Either you need a different instrument, or you need different parameters, or it's not possible at all with such kind of tools, and you need something else. It's much better to understand to see the big picture, to comprehend the whole area, to know where to go for such or such tasks. So yeah, this course tries hard to answer exactly such questions. Few words about what it is and what it is not. First, it's about creative visuals. Like, let me start showing something, not just speaking. Okay, this is just a brief few cuts from my show reel. So this is kind of just illustration to the term creative visuals. I mean, that you want to not just process something in a technical way, but you want to create something which, like before your attempt, before your before that your project didn't exist in either in technical way or in creative way or in whatever. So the course is not about getting to some predefined professional results. Yeah, not many, but quite a few tools that exist out there allow you to get to obtain some results which you can expect from them. You may want some realistic stuff. You may want some well-defined stuff with some predefined compositions. These tasks are more or less solved nowadays, and so if you learn prompt engineering well enough, or with DALL-E 3 coming, they claim that you won't even need prompt engineering, that it will generate everything just exactly as you want, whatever it means. We are not talking about practical routines, about tracking, detection, or something like the AI draw me a nice girl with 3 heads and 6 arms or whatever. It will draw, but what's the fun in it? For our understanding, much more fun is try to get to the system from the inside, to see how it behaves on its own, on its core, to not trying to communicate it only as a user from through the user interface, but also to be able to communicate to the system and get some results which are not limited to just standard things which whomever coming from the street would be able to get as well. What else? Theory. Core theory, basic theory is a must, obviously, because one need to understand what's in there, why it's like this. To understand again methods applicability, use and limits, and what maybe even more important to be able to move further on your own yourself after the course is finished, because like the main advantage of this course is not that you will spend like 2 months and get some project which would win, I don't know, Nobel Prize. The idea is to provide you with some maybe not even knowledge, but some core views, core points which may help you on your further path, on your further journey in the direction which you select yourself. And of course, it's not only about theory. There will be some practical tools, practical methods. Of course, open source. I hope it doesn't need to be explained why. Some of the popular tools, like some of them who already got acquainted or even got accustomed to modern AI/ML tools may know such names or even brands like Automatic 1111 or The Forum or Invoke AI or whatever. They're also open source, but I believe they have pretty enough coverage and a very decent audience already, and very decent amount of people who are willing to publish some tutorials on YouTube in vast amount. So if you need some specific task, you can just go find that tutorial and do that specific task. So we are not mostly about specific tasks. We are about picture in general. But again, of course, we would use some code and some tools to get you your hands wet in that, and to make something on practice. But that may be not. They will be not those popular tools again, which I will cover it already. I prefer to use my own code, which is published on GitHub and which is composed in a way that it would be easier to understand if you need to just go read that code, why and how it does what it does. So who is the core audience? Who are you in general? I mean, because I don't know you, and what would we expect you to know or to be able or to want when you come, if you come join us. That the course is for artists and designers without serious coding background, as I was told already, which includes both AI/ML art beginners who really just tried and touched few things and want and need to go deeper. But at the same time, in about the same degree, the course would be helpful for established visual artists. For instance, for guys who already know that TouchDesigner or some other tools and can create fascinating, exciting things with their own tools, but didn't touch seriously AI/ML methods yet. So this would be also possible to learn on their like level, on a totally different level than beginners, to get into the usage and understanding and comprehension of this area. So let's go a bit briefly about through the program of the course. Course obviously is going through some pretty simple hierarchy, going through from simple and theoretical things to more complex, more practical, and more modern in the same time. So first week is like introduction, which would be totally dedicated for the basics of theory. What is I don't know what is neuron, why the neural network called like that, what is neural graph, what is neural network in fact, what is it, what is the model, what is the training, how training should be performed, what we get after the training, what should we look for at the training, etc. So all the core basic ideas and concepts which you should have totally in your like I don't know, subconscious level to know that by Flash, that would be our start. Then we'll go for more specific things. Next week, second week, is about convolutional networks. Nowadays, it seems a bit kind of ancient because everybody is about like diffusion methods, or at least transformers. But like only 2 years ago, okay, 2.5. The GANs were quite on top, and they allowed to achieve quite a lot of very popular things. So they're still valid. And what's more important, why I would not reject this topic, even at some point all the neural networks of the world would go to some, I don't know, geometrical or evolutional or whatever other techniques. These topics about convolutional networks, about early architectures and not early but basic core building principles are still valid and are really useful to understand why and how the whole evolution of AI/ML methods went and keep going. Like how can we combine few neural networks, how can we extend neural networks to make it solve some practical tasks which this network might not be even aimed to at the very beginning, etc. So this is also very useful to understand the core ideas, and we later on a lot of stuff which we will learn on second week will be applicable and will be obvious that it was applied for much more modern, much more later established and developed stuff. Third week is generative adversarial networks, which are still quite good things, quite a good thing. If, for instance, with convolutional networks, with pure convolutional networks, you can make some funny stuff like visualizing some neurons or creating some caricatures or whatever. Or just make some really old school but also really quality stuff with proper style transfer, but that's again quite ancient things. That with gun methods like modern style gun, this demo illustration is about progressive gun, just because it looks nice, and if you need to showcase within 5 seconds what's the point of modern guns, these like progressive increasing resolution may be one of the things to learn at the first step. And with the guns, you still can make quite a lot of nice things, useful or artistic. You can train your own models, make it somehow like fantastic or even more fantastic, or you can combine it, or even more fantastic, sorry. Or you can, in fact, combine it with some more modern tools. I'll show later on a bit, couple of videos which are made with Stable Diffusion plus GAN, so that you see that even older methods can be still very, very useful. Fourth week, practical image processing. I guess that may be the most expected, most desired week, most desired topic and lesson for you, because in fact, the week 3 we will be starting already making some visuals on our own. But practical image processing is what about it's even if you are into absolutely creative, absolutely generative stuff, you will still need some things like upscaling, which is called super resolution on the scientific language. Some slow motion, which is in fact upscaling or super resolution for time, not for space as usual upscaling. Some other processing, some masking, some artistic processing with masking or whatever. So on fourth week we will briefly we'll have some overview and theory behind those methods, so that you can start using them in your creative process. And also one topic there will be integration with TouchDesigner, but I will be about that just a few minutes later when we showcase what will probably be the core, the content of that lesson. So in general, these 4 weeks was the content of the course, which I had taught for about 3 years already. It's like old school approaches, old school paradigm. And the next 2 weeks are about modern paradigms, like foundation models, multimodal networks, which deal at the same time with text, visuals, and at some point, in some cases, with also with sound or whatever. That was the core meaning of the year 2021. The whole year was a lot of people spent that year inventing some various methods how to be able to create with text various visuals, just typing the prompt and getting various generators draw what you want. Those early methods, of course, now look quite naive, but still they're quite useful, and they can definitely produce some interesting and results. So if you're again looking not only for well predictable or well predicted and planned outcomes, but if you are okay with for experiments, so these instruments, this topic for early multimodal networks will be definitely for you. And finally, Stable Diffusion, obviously, which is I think like current generative tool #1, because it's nearly as powerful as the top popular whatever Midjourney or other tools with millions of users, but it's also open source, so you can either use it as it is on its own on some popular servers, because Stability AI, the company behind Stable Diffusion, also have some paid services for those who don't want to lay hands into the code, or at least into even installations of some modules. But also you can just download the code, download the models, and run it on your own on your own computer, or not on your own, on whatever local computer, to be in full control of what you are doing, to be less and least dependent on the limits of the servers, and not paying to anybody for the stuff you are doing. Okay, at least you will need to spend something for that hardware, and definitely for electricity. But anyway, at least that's not that should be less than subscriptions, especially if you have that hardware already. So here are just a couple of illustrations for which are possible with Stable Diffusion. This illustration, by the way, this video, the reason why I'm showing you this video is that most of the instruments, most of the tools are limited to still images. If you want some videos, you are usually also limited to some formats which are predefined by the creators of those tools, or creators of those services. And there are some things which can be made with these tools if you totally control them, like locally or even in Collab. I hope that you know what Collab is, Google collaborative platform, which is something between Google Docs and Amazon service. Okay, anyway, we'll cover that in the course, so it doesn't make sense to go through it now. So again, you would be able to make some specific things. This is, for instance, quite recent, just a couple of weeks ago, some video mapping made for some nice festivals, and this content was generated purely in Stable Diffusion, made with ControlNet and with some specific animation techniques, so that it would fit the geometry of the object, but still would use all the tricks and nice things of Stable Diffusion, the possibilities, and etc. And yeah, obviously that's one of the standard functions of the open source package which we will use in our course. So you will be able to do that with like one command. Okay, what's next? And next, obviously, the final 7 week will be your own project. We decided to dedicate just 1 week after all lectures, after all homeworks, like predefined homeworks are done, to let you go on your own, but still with our support, so that you would try to realize some of your wild fantasies, I mean, your wild technical fantasies, of course, but creative also, but within the topic of the class. And we will do our best to help you with that project. And that would be something like graduate project of that class. Okay, I think that's pretty enough about the course in general. Those who were about going to do that, I think they have more information now. Those who didn't, sorry to keep you boring for that half an hour. And now let's go to the next topic. What me and Stas Glazov did.
Hello again. First, I want to thank you for being here with us today, and also I'm happy to present our research with Vadim. So we finally managed to made a proper and true integration of Stable Diffusion into TouchDesigner. What is the difference? So first I have to say I'm quite proud that we managed to do it everything ourselves without looking into other solutions. And it's also working quite well in sense the generation of Stable Diffusion for sure is a bit slow, but it's impossible to make it faster. It quite hardly depends on resolution and parameters we're sending to Stable Diffusion. But what is cool, we managed to get it into Houdini engine. So it's running inside of engine. And that's why we have 60 frames till to 58 maybe worst FPS in TouchDesigner. And we made quite good framework so we can access the code without to go inside of engine, which is quite heavy. We outputting all the data outside from engine, so we know what happens inside, and that took us to make some quite long way to achieve this result. So for me it was also a very cool experience because I never got so deep into engine because I don't really needed it, and now it was only choice how we can make the Stable Diffusion work without affecting the TouchDesigner performance. So for other integrations I've seen in internet later after we finished to work on on our own solution. Actually it uses automatic 1111, which is for, as soon as I understand from Vadim told, it's quite black box with very low level of control what happens inside. So that's also why one of reason we went this way. So it's not just nerdy fun to integrate Stable Diffusion on only proper way inside of TouchDesigner. It's also the way of having the level of control on and understanding what is inside. So now we can transfer the several parameters like for sure prompt. We can control strength. Logically, every time we change some of these parameters, it takes a bit of time because it's reloading the model, recompile, let's say, and that takes some time. Also, if I will add more steps, it will provide better result, but it will also slow generating, and it dramatically depends on input resolution. So now you can see the same prompt, the same strength with 23 steps provide much nicer result closer to the prompt I entered. And also if I change the resolution, let's say maybe I just don't fit, so I can use the original HD resolution, and yeah, the quality of generation is much better. So that's all about our integration, and I provide word back to Vadim.
So yeah, we really had some hopes and high expectations about let's integrate finally the external AI mail with the internal Python from TouchDesigner. But when we finally made it, we understood that it's quite far from being straightforward, first, and second, it's still has quite some limitations. For instance, while we were working on our laptops, like FPS was, if we call it FPS, it was about I don't know, like half a minute per frame. per image, which is not only not real time, but totally doesn't make sense, in fact, to integrate it somehow with whatever. It's way easier to just save the frame on the hard disk and read it from the hard disk. That's it. So here is more, I think, universal method, which is obviously use some industry standard communication protocols, namely OSC for controls and NDI for video sending and receiving. So here is, as you see, here is the patch which is based on that NDI OSC sending and receiving. And the point is that this patch TouchDesigner is running on my laptop and it's okay, but the neural processing, the Stable Diffusion, in fact, runs on some other local servers nearby with 3090 with GPU, and therefore we got like less than 1 second per frame, which is already like, it's not yet real time, but at least this can be used somehow. And also you'll see that there are some controls. For instance, I can change the NDI source. This is unfortunately absolutely necessary thing, because when the Python code is initialized, it is looking for NDI sources, and we don't know in the at once. We can't tell in advance which the order of the sources which which would be found. So sometimes it's there in one order, sometimes in another. So you would definitely need some control to tell from your like interface part to tell the network which NDI source to use. Also, you can of course change some prompt. For instance, blue cyber dog, here it is. Or some that longer prompt which was there in the beginning, but it was not processed because on start the network was running with some default stuff. Now it's something like dead, sexy, alien, blah, 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 blah. Something impressive enough. So you see it like this. And I can keep in exactly this the same TouchDesigner patch. I can switch to my server, stop that script which was running there of Stable Diffusion, and run something different. For instance, Stargan. That is pretty nice network. Unfortunately, quite, or maybe fortunately, quite an obsolete one these days. It was called by someone postmodern style transfer. We were seen before I started the stream. Anyway, I hope that at least you got the idea of how these look like and what's the point. Like with this approach, we don't need like big chunks of Python code to be inserted in some engine, in some special scripts inside the TouchDesigner, where we only need some NDI receiver, NDI sender, OSC sender with all the set parameters, and not that the network which is not as loaded as mine is now, so that
I can show Stargan because it's so as you can see it's running without any problems. It's a bit earlier version than Vadim has on his machine, but it's completely useful. So we have both way controls. We can send variables to the Python process. We have NDI in-out communication and OSC, so it's everything quite well.
Yeah, just Yeah, I just well, maybe it was something about presenting the screen, because as soon as I stopped sharing my screen, it went normal. So I'll show again the third, just in case. The third pack I ran already. So it's about masking. It's not absolutely not creative, but a very practical thing, which is usually called removing background. So we can just get a mask about my head, or we can make the image blended with that mask. And also here one more parameters alpha, but we don't use. I'm not using it here now. But if, for instance, you need to have some transparency, so if you put it here as one, we'll get immediately this alpha blending for further processing. Okay. So that was some short demo. Few more words about upcoming course, about logistics, like those routine, mundane things like format, prerequisites, and stuff. So we will have online like streams, lessons like this one, more or less, twice a week. For about 2 hours. Presumably it will be Monday and Thursday evening, something about the same time like now. The lessons, of course, will be recorded and published shortly after the translation, so that you can watch them over again if you want some more details. For reference or whatever. And there will be some, here there was some question already in the chat about exercises which will accompany our like theory and our like general practice. The point of okay, to be honest, I didn't create any like special, I didn't invent any special homeworks or special exercises about that or that topic. Like, for instance, when we are learning GAN, you will need to basically repeat the same steps, repeat the same procedures as we would learn on the way, but with your own material, with your own idea, on your own supply, as they say. So to train your own GAN model, to create your own video with your own trained GAN model, etc. The time and the part where you will be able to fully unleash your creativity, your potential, will be that last 7th week. That's about totally your like way. Your it's only limited by your imagination and of course the stuff, the amount of stuff which you learned from the course and which you had already before the course. But in general, that project will be your main like utmost exercise. Exercises on the way on the previous weeks are aimed only to ensure that you got the technique, that you got understanding, that you are able to use those techniques for your projects. Like that you are able to, I don't know, collect data, to clean up data, to train the model, to fine-tune the model, to make a proper inference, and whatever we will do on our way. So these exercises are mostly are not as creative. They're just like, okay, let's do that. okay, now I'm closing my patches. You've got your recorded lecture and some short documentations about functions of the specific method. Let's do it on your own. We are here to help you, of course. We will be available on online chat for whatever questions which may arise about the course materials. And of course, to help you with those exercises. So you won't be on your own completing them. And exercises will be said already with open source tools either from my GitHub or from some Collab notebooks or from some packages, some Python sets, which I didn't publish on GitHub for some reasons. So we will use either those download and use those packages locally, or you will use them on Collab.
I would add some words in that point, that basically from my experience of doing courses, which is quite long, I would say first 1-2 courses are always a bit experimental, because you prepare completely new material, and then you get your students and you get questions, you react. So in the end, from my point of view, this course is most cool because you have you will be more invented in developing of completely ready course, which will be not so interactive anymore. So it's like really live laboratory where we collaborate on developing new cool examples, because always some creative students have crazy questions and you find a way to answer them. So typically you find some completely fresh new ideas. And the next course will be logically maybe more prepared, but it will be less communication possibility. And from my point of view also, because I'm a typical case of visitor of Vadim course, because I'm using TouchDesigner and visuals since a long time. I could say I kind of at least intermediate or at some points advanced. I can program different languages and do TouchDesigner, Houdini, whatever. But I was avoiding all this AI boom because I just didn't have a time and didn't had so much free separated time to dive that deep into that. They can install all it works on my local machine and start experimenting. And I was, let's say, advanced enough in order to be bored to use ready-made tools on external web servers and pay credits. So on the end, developing this course solved part of my problems. Already have all networks running on my machine. I can just start touch this. So now if I need to create some AI picture, I don't look for some of profiles where I still have some credits left. I just open TouchDesigner and enter prompt. So on the end, I already can work with it. Still not completely understanding full workflow, but that's already now a level of integration I have to my real work. So I think this is also a very, very important point, because just after visiting this first parts of this course, you will be already ready to do some stuff and gather understanding of internal process there. So that's my addition to Vadim's words.
Yeah, in fact, that's true. That that's like, I don't know, much made in heaven, as I say. That Stas is probably one of the bright representatives of the like proper audience of this course. Like that's the second part which I mentioned at the beginning. Like first part are totally noobs which needs guidance to get into, and second part are like proper cool guys who just didn't have time yet to dive into that, and how to make them through in the shortest path in the shortest time. Yet trying to pack them with all necessary stuff as if they would learn this thing, the following this area for like few years, like me. Okay, of course, 2 months of online course is not obviously is not equal to 4 or 5 years of full-time dealing with that. But anyway, the like basic path it would be more or less the same.
Also, I want to say that we just making a first test. I mean, we will learn the people who joined the course, who enrolled, and understand what is requested. Because if everyone will be happy and want to dive deeper, we can also do deeper. We just decided to make it like middle, so it's not like thousands of courses or like things announced as a courses in the internet, which you can find on any Instagram and advertisement targeted to your profile, where they offer to make you genius of prompt engineering. But it's also not super hardcore deep level of diving into code, so it's something in between. But actually, if we will have enough people who want to be Jedis, we can also open our light sword and go deeper.
I'm starting from the last one and go to the first. Last one is about, it's not really the question, it's just the idea. I want to create an immersive project that connects TouchDesigner effects and make them react to external movements and sounds. About me, newbie. Yeah, obviously, I think that will be directly you will have exactly direct information at some point, most probably on that fourth week, about like practical uses and integration with TouchDesigner. After that, most probably you will just have all the patches and all the code on your machine to start doing your own project with that functionality. But I would like to emphasize that the main goal of this course is not to provide some how-tos or some solutions for some questions, for some existing tasks, or for some existing situations. For some such questions, you will get immediate answers. For other questions, you will have all the materials to go to the answer yourself. Some other questions would still wait you out there as a tutorials on YouTube for some ready-made tool. So we can't guarantee, we can't promise, in fact, to solve your specific questions. But what we can more or less promise is that you will have much better position after this course to solve whatever question in this area than before that course, because you will understand at least what do you need to get there, what exact tools you need, in what combination. If you can't, for instance, code it yourself, necessary thing on Python, you would at least know where to learn, where to seek, where to look for some like blocks to combine them together.
Also might answer some TouchDesigner related question I see in chat. Basically, first, this is not a TouchDesigner course. So for sure, we have several parts where we're showing the particular TouchDesigner integration, particularly also very specific to TouchDesigner, like using TouchDesigner engine. But for example, this technique with NDIOSC can be used in any other environment. Like, for example, Vadim is one of the most hardcore VVVV users I know on the planet. So basically, the same technique can be used also there or in Maximus P or whatever. Anyway, because we are mostly oriented to people whom I can access from my auditorium, let's say, or from people who are into my social networks, whatever. And because we are also collaborating, we decided to make it with TouchDesigner like a new experience. So for people who are completely fresh into TouchDesigner, I can offer maybe I can send some offer, or you can write to me, and I can make some compilation of my lessons to like make a short extreme diving into touch. Also, we think, and you can answer me if it's a good idea. In my big course, which is How to Touch, we have a huge lesson about of particular usage of Python in TouchDesigner. I think, I hope it's quite useful to understand all everything we are doing here. It's not precisely the course about the basics of Python, but it's oriented for Python in TouchDesigner. So we also think to provide possibility to get this lesson separately, so like cut it from the big course, like the additional video, which you can use. So okay, you have now 3 days less than a month, and it's about 5 or 4 hours of lessons. You can spend this month preparing and learning Python and TouchDesigner, which will obviously help to understand this TouchDesigner integration part.
We didn't say anything about prerequisites for some what to do before the course. So there were a few questions about that already. So what's needed to like successfully consume that that stuff, that material? Few things which are really crucial, which you would definitely need, otherwise you would probably not be able to just handle that. Very few and very simple thing. First, general logic. Just to, because neural networks is exciting area in that in a way that the theory, their theory is like as they usually say, watch my hands. That they make a few steps, a few logical steps. Each of the steps is very simple and well, quite obvious. Yeah, why not doing that? But those steps look usually quite an interesting trajectory in general. And after 2, 3, 4 steps, you may quite lose the whole picture and forget what was before. So having like good like logic in your mind would definitely help a lot to get a grasp of the structures which you would work with. well, also some kind of, I don't know, mathematical imagination would be good, but only basic math. You won't, in fact, even need probably just any derivatives, derivative company, knowledge of derivative or some other calculus things. One more like somehow maybe a bit hardcore is that you will work, not you will work yourself, but I mean all the everything that that's going on under the hood in neural networks are multidimensional arrays, and understanding their number of dimensions, specific sizes of those dimensions, is one of the really useful, sometimes just crucial ability to debug, to show, to follow what's going on there, to understand whether the method works or not. So basic math, multidimensional imagination, general logic, what else? Command line skills. Because all the Python, local Python stuff is run from command line, from the shell, as they Linux guys call it. So that's quite easy. Just type commands and that's it. It's like prompt, but for machine, not for old school machines. Okay. What about other like preparations, other knowledge before that? It was said already, the more you know, the more you get. You may be either totally newbie and you may not wanted to go inside any code. That's okay. You would get only theory and given tools, but you would have more. I'm not sure you would get, in fact, understanding how to get like foreign tools, foreign methods in case you need them afterwards, and to make them work on your own machine or with your own setup in your settings. If you're able at least to read code of Python, it doesn't need to really learn to how to code. It's definitely not needed to learn how to code neural networks. I only briefly know that, and for modern those attention-based engines, well, no, sorry, not. The level of like knowing Python is only to read let me just show you something very briefly. For instance, that Stargan, which I... So this is Python code of that Stargan running. This is obviously not the whole network. The network is called from some other models which are loaded on the beginning. But in general, this is kind of this Python codes which you would work with if you decide to go with Python knowledge inside under the hood and to tweak the stuff, to adapt and adopt repositories from GitHub and so on. So you don't need to, in most cases, you don't need to get into what for some specific functions exactly does. You would need to know what kind of variables you would feed to them. Those like dimensions, multi-dimensional array, check the that dimensions are proper, and the format and the type of variables. You would get what you get out of that network. Again, checking that so-called shape that it's the dimensions, and then all the rest is just very simple. Like for every element of that, for every image, just preprocess and load to the network get result for every element of the result, like post-process and save to the disk or send to the NDI, whatever. So this is kind of the stuff which you would need even if you decide to go deeper, and that's not rocket science, definitely. So don't worry too much about that. About equipment, unfortunately, I couldn't. Maybe I didn't spend enough effort, but I didn't. But I wasn't able to manage the same the same program, the same materials, the same methods and packages running on all three popular platforms. So as I myself work with Windows, so the primary and preferred platform is Windows. Sorry for that. For Linux, all the examples, all the code which we use should work on Linux as well without any modification, or maybe with even slight modification if we face some cases when we need to make something. I would be happy to fix it so that it will run on Linux. The only things which I cannot help with, because I don't have any native Linux boxes, is setting up and hardware support. That is setting up CUDA, which is necessary to make use of NVIDIA GPUs, to some formatting of shell scripts, which I'm not really expert in. I use sometimes I use some shell scripts on Linux occasionally, but not as much as with Windows. And for Macs, for Macintosh, for Apple, sorry for that. I know that it's possible to run Stable Diffusion on Macs, definitely, but I didn't apply all those tricks and stuff which are necessary to run it on Macs on my tools, which we will use during the course. So the only option to run through the course, if you have only Mac, is to use Collabs. That is cloud cloud platform where you will work with such like very simply formatted web pages, which are in fact contains simple formatting markdown code and Python code with few special keywords relating to this specific Collab platform. So, in fact, I think pretty all the exercises, pretty all the methods and tools which we will cover, which we will use on the course, are presented also as a Collab in Collab edition. Yet I think that it wouldn't be the most efficient way to work with. And of course, and sorry for that, no TouchDesigner in this case, because Collab is a cloud platform which is out there, not local. So to work with TouchDesigner, unfortunately, you would need.
Actually, I have to check. Maybe we can access it over the web server integration of TouchDesigner. So I have no answer, but theoretically it might be possible too. But it will be for sure not efficient. Also, I have new Apple I think MI Pro, M1 Pro Mac laptop. So maybe if I will have some time, I can try to do some stuff and check what is doable. But for now, what we can say 100% that it will run on Windows with NVIDIA.
So will RTX 2080 8 GB be enough for local SD and Stargan tool? Absolutely. Well, one of the footages which I was showing, like for instance, it's Maybe it's something which shouldn't be performed at home, as they say. But for instance, this model was trained on the 1080 Ti from PC, so it took as much as 8 months. Anyway. In fact, yeah, to 2080 is pretty good, very good video card. I still use 2070 for quite a lot of stuff. Of course, when possible, I prefer to use 3090. But anyway, for a start, it's more than enough. Approximate frame rate in case of real-time SD using such card. First, as said already, there is no such thing as real-time SD for the moment. I don't know, maybe maybe 2 seconds per frame. 1.5, 2 seconds per frame should be. Again, it heavily depends on the resolution. The resolution which we had on our demo is more or less about 500 per 500 pixels. For that, you would see you would usually have 1 to seconds per frame in decent video cards. Lower resolution is not advised because if you get the resolution lower than native resolution of the model, you would get much worse results. You would better go in higher res. That will be slower. Some samples of the exercises along with the subjects. Sorry, I didn't prepare such such materials. I might bring some. If it's really the case, we can communicate afterwards, after that in Telegram or in, I don't know, somehow. I can send you a few examples of what my previous students were making as such home exercises. Yet I'm not sure that it's really relevant because the networks, the topics, the specific instruments and methods are really changing, obviously, and the stuff which was like valid and relevant year, for instance, ago may be already like probably will look quite obsolete for now. And also the point is that I usually was teaching these classes only for like first category of the students, that is newcoming artists and designers without any expertise in coding or whatever. So they were really getting into the subject, into the area quite maybe not slower, but from their perspective, which is definitely different from the guys who already tech-savvy guys who work with I don't know, Houdini, TouchDesigner or whatever. So I'm not sure that those samples of others' exercises would be relevant for you. And for samples of what's possible with the instruments which you will have access to during the course, I showed it already very briefly, just for a few seconds. But those were, I selected only the videos which I made with the repositories, with the tools which are included into the course. There was no some other stuff.
Okay. So maybe last word I want to tell is that I write now in the chat the promo code. You can enter on our webpage howtotouch.com/AI, and it works until end of this month, literally in Berlin time, on central.
There is one more question I missed. Do you recommend any specific tutorial or way to learn prompt engineering? And free alternatives recommended for Midjourney. Prompt engineering is something we will not cover in this course because it's exciting and very quickly developing and also exciting topic. But it's kind of pretty separate way, more like path of it's also maybe taken as kind of creative coding, but it's something special creating coding, so we don't really pay much attention to it. And there is I think there is quite a lot of some maybe not like comprehensive tutorials or documentation about what kind of prompts we should use, but a lot of forums, a lot of advices, a lot of quick how-tos, and a lot of the specific Discord channels on specific Discord servers, on Invoke AI, the Deforum, whatever big instrument or big company have their own Discord server, and there are a lot of specific channels where you can find everything about prompt engineering, about preprocessing, about, well, a lot of things. So it's just exactly something which is out of scope of this course, because there is enough already. And also free alternative for Midjourney. Just, well, come to our course. There will be free alternative for Midjourney and for a lot of other things. But yes, unfortunately, it won't be as the same quality as Midjourney, because Midjourney is something special. It provides you with really, really nice images, and that's it. You don't have anything but nice images. You don't have control over them, much control. You just have nice images. And I'm pretty happy that there are no alternatives for such a strange thing.
Okay, thank you, Vadim. Thank you, everyone, for coming here. And yeah, like I said, we are always up for communication and for any questions. And let's stay in touch. So the stream was recorded. I hope that there are no problems in recording. We even recorded on both ends, on my end and on Vadim's end. So it will need for sure some time to check the recording and upload it, but you will be able to relook into that later on our YouTube channel. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for coming, and especially for those who survived till the end. And hope to see you again.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.